whenever you're coming back off, it's a little bit easier for me just because I know what I've done in the past. But how are you finding that initial weight? Let's say somebody's brand new off the street. How are you finding that initial weight for them to start off with?
Asked and answered. Read Mario Admin 6969-420. No, nice. I'll give you a quick answer on that, and we'll get into another one. I do have like probably 5 or 6 videos on this. One being like what to do after vacation, one what to do after a layoff, what to do when you first start starting strength. Real answer is if you got the technique down moderately well, start with sets of 5, day 1 on the squat. Do the bar, 2 sets of 5, make moderate jumps. It kind of depends on your strength level. So if you were squatting 315 before your layoff, like it's not like your strength went back down to 0, right? You're probably going to be somewhere in the low 2s or upper 2s, depending how long you took off. I generally tell people, so 2 sets with empty bar and then make moderate increases, as you're going up, and you should never be worried about failing. So you should never think like, because when you're in the linear progression, you'll go to squat a set of 5 and you'll do rep 1 and you'll wonder, like, is it there? Like, am I going to be able to do 5 reps? So you don't want to have that much fear or that much doubt. You want to know that you can do it, but it does need to be like somewhat challenging. Your heart rate needs to spike and you get a little sweaty. Generally what I tell people to do is do ascending sets of 5s, get to that weight where bar speed slows down a little bit. And if you undercut it a little bit, that's fine. Stop after 1 set. Otherwise you'll get really sore if you've had a long layoff. And then on the next session, do that weight that you ended up at for 3 sets of 5, and then begin your progression the following session. So, you work up to 225 for a set of 5, day 1, day 2, you do 225 for 3 sets of 5, doing like a warm up protocol to it. And then day 3, when you're in there, you go to 230. Now, if you did sell yourself short and you go to do 230, 2 days later, and you're like, this is really easy, that's fine. Just make a 10-pound jump and, do 235. You can't really mess it up. It should take you like 4 to 5 workouts to like, okay, I'm back in where it's hard and I got to rest 3 to 4 minutes, shouldn't take you longer than that. Yeah.
But
good question.
If you're brand new, post a link below, Jordy.
Yeah.
Go across. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're brand new, Jordy, tell them to sign up for coaching. Yeah. If you are brand new and you're trying to squat, you do want to make sure that you're squatting to depth. So I advocate for the low bar squat position, more muscle mass, greatest range of motion, or greatest effective range of motion, allows you to use the most weight. But even if you're high bar squatting or you're front squatting because you have some, excuse as to why you do that, or your safety squat, but whatever you're doing, ensure that when you start this, that you're squatting to depth. And anyone can film themselves and look and see if the hip crease, where the top of the femur, so like top of your thigh, reaches into your pelvis, like that little socket right there needs to go below your kneecap. And I'd argue it doesn't need to go way below your kneecap, but it does need to, you need to break parallel. And if you're not doing that, and then you aggressively run a program like Starting Strength, you're going to take your squat from 140 to 230. And then you're going to be like, I wonder if I'm doing this right. I'm freaking out, or my elbow hurts, or there's some kind of issue. And you're going to say, I need a coach. And then you're going to walk into the gym or come into a Zoom meeting or whatever, post your stuff on Slack. And everyone's going to be like, dude, you're 8 inches above parallel. And then you're going to find out you have to take a whole bunch of weight off the bar because you haven't been going deep enough. So do make sure you're going to depth before you start progressing in weight. Even if you're doing other stuff wrong, make sure you're squatting to depth.